Dann noch hier.
Joe, please, I don't.
Warte, ist der... Warte. Wer ist das?
Welcome, sir.
Den kennen wir doch noch gar nicht.
Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Er ist wirklich noch unsere letzte fehlende Person.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
How are the current conditions in Whitechapel?
When there's more people outside at night than during the day, then you've got to start to worry.
Gut, wir haben jetzt eine Quest bekommen bei ihm.
Right then.
Ja. Und die ganzen Griffe, glaube ich. Weil die Griffe sind das A und O, was ich brauche. Und wir haben ja einiges an Schilling, von daher. Die Nieten sind auch immer gut. Der Rest ist so lala. Die Federn nehmen wir mal noch mit. Und das Blech. Und ein bisschen Opium. So. Freut der Typ sich. Jetzt doch mal zu dir.
You again?
Immer ich nochmal.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
You survive at any cost, even at the expense of others. Perhaps that's just the law of nature.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Wir haben fast alles zu ihm. Aber leider nur fast. Fehlt hier, glaube ich, noch ein Hinweis. Und das müssen wir mit seinem Sohn klären. Höchstwahrscheinlich. Nehme ich mal so an.
Good evening, Harry. May I...
Sure. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So,
I'm not.
your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Na, ihm fehlt uns auch noch eigentlich nur ein Hinweis, aber gut. Eigentlich.
Goodbye, young man.
Aber wir müssen halt, wenn dann alle drei töten. Er ist zum Glück auch noch hier.
You never... Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. And these days, he's just another thug.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody will be fool enough to stand against the wet boot boy.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
Without making excuses for him, it's safe to say that despair can poison even the sanest mind.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
Ja, wir haben uns gerade was verbaut.
What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile, not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
Mann, einer fehlt noch. Ein Drecksletzter Hinweis.
Goodbye.
Das ist immer doof, wenn es immer nur noch so einer ist. Was auch doof ist, wenn die Menschen auf einmal weg sind. Wo ist der jetzt hin? Wo ist der Mr. Vater hin? Gott! Obwohl, nee, wir haben den Pater getötet, den fragen wir lieber nicht nach Gott. Ach, da ist er doch. Kommen Sie mal ran.
You?
Ja, ich tue dich heute gerne ärgern. Mann, hier fehlt überall noch Hinweise.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Na gut. Klären wir dies ein andermal. Hatten wir dich schon? Wer bist du denn? Oder einer mit Mütze? Was? Hast du mich da gerade gesehen? So, das haben wir gemacht. Aber das haben wir halt noch nicht. Wir müssen das Paket finden. Ich glaube, dann haben wir es erledigt. Können wir mal verfolgen. Geht ja vielleicht schnell. Hätte ich mir noch ein paar Erfahrungspunkte dann. Also, warum nicht? Hallöle. Weg. Wir müssen irgendwie hoch. Wo bin ich denn jetzt dahin? Kannst gar nicht. Nicht kannst du. Lol, ist hier. Lol, da geht das Auto einfach ein Stück weg. Witzig. Hier aber rein. Mann. Komme ich jetzt dahin? Muss ich vielleicht mal andersrum gehen? Andersrum. Wieder ein Stückchen nach links. Vergessen wir, dass ich hier nicht teleportieren darf. Hallöle. Das war alles. Jetzt los. Ich muss hier irgendwie hochkommen. Komm. Tu nicht so, als ob. Oh nein, da war es gerade. Glück ist das so schön einfach hier jetzt. Nehmen wir das ganze Zeug noch mit. Ein abgenutztes Ball gefunden. Schön.
This could be the box Lewis. A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
Was war das? Ein Liebesbrief an? An ihn oder an ihn? Es ist an Barrett. Ich würde es Barrett geben. Also dem Händler. Das ist später vielleicht nützlicher als dem Vater da. Ja, geben wir es Barrett. Warum nicht? Ich frage mich nur, was es für Konsequenzen haben wird. Ich meine, wir töten eh beide. Von daher ist das egal. Aber es hat ja doch ein anderes Outcome. Ich würde bei einem was freischalten und bei dem anderen nicht.
You never... I found this box in an abandoned building nearby. I believe it belongs to you.
Let's have a look. Yeah, this is mine. So, you faced those loons that roam around there. Extraordinary.
I suppose I was lucky.
Luck is a commodity round here. Yours should be properly rewarded.
About this package, it's not just tools and trinkets, is it?
I want to be rude or anything after your kind gesture, but it's none of your business.
Okay.
Barrett, you had an affair with Joe's wife, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. She's the only woman I loved. My first regret is that she stayed with Joe after Harry was born. The second is I never shed a tear when she died.
Do you mean you're Harry's father?
No one will ever know for sure. And it's better that way. And I don't believe I'd have been all that bad as a dad.
Did you ever try talking to Joe?
Never. But I suspected he knew everything, even without knowing it. And he decided to make me pay in his own way.
Oh. Ich nehme ihn mal mit. Er hat ja jetzt noch erfahren, so, das mit dem Liebesbrief. Er kann in Frieden ruhen. Und sterben.
I never had any luck in my life. And now I die alone.
Tja, da stirbt er alleine.
You again?
Mann, bei dem fehlt mir immer noch das eine.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Den, ob ich das noch aus dem Sohn rauskriege. Ich weiß halt nicht, ob da noch viel möglich ist. Eigentlich muss es gehen. Hat immer Konsequenzen, wenn ich einen aussauge.
Good evening.
Sure. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
I'm not
Machen wir diesen Bereich jetzt auch zum Feind.
Do you remember when Barrett Lewis was close to your family? To your mother?
Not really. I was too young. But I remember it was a happier time. Mr. Lewis was funny. He often had dinner with us.
Why are you sad then?
Because it hurts to remember a time when my father used to laugh and smile. It hurts to realize he's as sad as me now.
How was he towards you?
He was nice, I guess. He never forgot my birthday. He always offered me books. I liked books.
Mann. Ich will, dass du Bücher magst. Hilft dir auch nicht weiter.
Goodbye.
Is there only pain and suffering
Menno.
in this world?
Menno.
Hard to pay, one way or another.
Hör auf.
You again?
Ja, ich stelle dich gerne heute. Ach, zu beiden fehlt mir halt noch
Goodbye,
irgendwas.
Mr. Peterson.
Ich halt. Muss ich mich doch mit Redgrave engagieren. Machen die denn hier alle?
Good evening.
Kopfstreiche.
Doctor in Whitechapel. What an opportunity.
Kennen wir den da
My
nicht?
name's Bates, Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say a live tenant's a paying tenant.
Nee, den kennen wir wirklich noch nicht.
It's unusual to see someone so happy around here, especially considering the current situation.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
What is your business exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
You obviously place yourself above the misery of Whitechapel, but you are as repellent an individual as I have ever met.
Begging your pardon, I thought you was a man who could appreciate the complexity of the modern world. Things ain't just black and white, you know.
What help could I possibly be to your business?
That's simple. I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret saving your life in this quarantine zone.
I understand, Dr. Reid, you're from a good family. Don't want to get your hands dirty. That's fine. I'll be happy to act as your middleman.
I've no interest in money. Perhaps one night I will visit you and take what I require. If that should happen, there will be no need for a middleman.
So it's a no then. That's too bad. The Reid tonic could have really helped people, you know, save lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swamborous shit.
Tell me, what's your honest opinion of the increasing violence in London?
People are just beginning to discover what we've always known. This city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
People are acting like the violence is news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
I want to know everything about the recent violence, Cadogan. And I want the truth.
Well, rent may be a bit high, and yeah, I've had to evict a few people. But that's business, isn't it?
I don't believe even you deserve such a cruel fate, though you have tested my patience beyond its limit.
Glad to hear. Nice to know there's another civilized individual in these parts. Not like those bloody savages.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. It made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you. Have you heard anything about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Not really.
A man such as yourself, knee-deep in the muck of Whitechapel, must know more. Speak now.
Yeah, thanks to Nurse Crane's dedication, these foreigners keep coming to Whitechapel, and my lodgings welcome all.
So business is booming.
More than ever. Hope Nurse Crane's dispensary does nothing but flourish. More money in my pocket in the end.
Why am I not convinced?
Maybe it's because you lack faith. Being a skeptic must be useful for a man of science.
How are conditions in Whitechapel at present?
The way this sickness is spreading, I don't think there'll be enough new bloods to replace those tenants I'm losing from this bloody thing.
Bin am Überlegen. Er hat halt keine Beziehung zu irgendjemandem. Wir haben alles rausgefunden über ihn. Er ist so tot. Ich nehme jetzt den Stadtteil einfach nur nebenbei mit vor. Zumindest das, was man hinkriegt. Dum dum. Dum dum. Und tschüss.
Was I that evil to deserve such punishment? My only regret is that no one will mourn me, for I have never been loved.
Wir haben seinen Schatz bekommen. Frage ist, was das ist. Wecker, Spiegel, kaputte Uhr. Alles klar. Wir haben schon wieder 10.000 Punkte zusammen. Ich würde halt Camille eigentlich auch noch gerne holen. Aber ich glaube, das wird nix. Wer bist du?
Good evening, Ben.
I'm afraid not.
Ach, das ist der Typ. Über ihn fehlt auch noch was.
A gun, alcohol.
Ja. Was will man machen? Gehen wir mal zu unserem Erzlord, der sowas von keinen Bock auf uns haben wird. Zumal wir gegen ihn spielen. Obwohl ich nicht glaube, dass die ganzen Gals so super sind für ihn. Weil es halt auch viel... Was ist das? Geht aber nicht lang. Muss ich da lang? Lieb dich auch, Spiel. Wieder auch so ein da. Außer. Oder ist das sogar der? Ich meine, ist er der Türsteher bei denen? Okay. Muss jetzt eigentlich da durch. Aber ich habe null Plan. Und außen rumlaufen.